Number 11. Happy Veterans Day to anybody out there who is a veteran, at least here in America, or the United States, I should say. And today's ZD TV, just going to be me again. I am very sorry to disappoint everybody looking for Ken or any special guest star. Um, it is a gray day here in Western New York. Not one of the most beautiful days that it's been lately. It seems like every Friday. So no sun shining. Windows are closed. It's getting cold again. All right. Well, what are we going to do today? Let's take a peek at the agenda. Today is going to be another working ZD TV. We're going to look at samples. And the last time, a couple of weeks ago, in between the Kurt guest star last week with Browser, we were looking at samples in the Golang SDK. And we're going to do that again for some amount of time, whether it be a half an hour, however long it takes. And we'll see how many samples we can get through this week. I will go through with a critical lens, trying to pass my first time through the samples themselves. I've reviewed them in the past, but don't have them reviewed and in context right now. It's the best kind of review because it'll be cold. But before we get there, we're going to take a look at the changelog. We do have a release this week. We have a release with the 0.26.11 version of the ZD binaries. As you can see, it is mostly a bug fix release. We got some ZD CLI flags. We got some more bug fixes below. ZD CLI flags, these are nice. Now you can specify the tunneler mode and the LAN interface if you want to supply that. So tunneler mode lets you declare whether the tunneler that you're going to create your router config for. Again, let's look at the CLI command, ZD create config router edge has tunneler mode and LAN interface, and you can supply none, host, or tproxy. If you are using the quick start, you're going to get a host enabled router, which means it will be in tunneler mode and it will be usable for offloading your traffic from the OpenZD Zero Trust Overlay Network onto your, we'll just say trusted underlay IP-based network. If you were to use none, you will be basically creating a private router, a router which is going to be good for transit, and you're not going to be able to offload traffic from your edge router. It's wildly convenient to offload traffic from your edge router, but you might not want to do that. And then tproxy mode allows you to intercept traffic at that router too. And then I am not a pro with the LAN interface, but I do believe it allows you to put the router into a gateway type of mode. I probably should do that. Maybe I'll do that on another ZDTV. A couple examples showing you how to use it. Probably don't need those too much. Pretty self-explanatory. Ton zero. Probably should have called that something like ETH zero, not ton zero. Not the end of the world. Some bug fix updates. ZD Edge lists the edge router to be offline. ZD Edge lists the edge router to be offline after recovering. Okay. Okay. So when an internet fluctuation happens, the edge router will show up as offline, and that's not true. It must be connected. So that was the bug. Enrollment has no verbose option for debugging. That is a bug I fixed. Yay. But I didn't actually fix it yet because it's only available in the SDK right now. I still have to fix it for the ZD CLI itself. Incorrect documentation for gRPC sample. Ooh, gRPC sample. It's one I was going to look at today. No documentation for call example. I don't know if I saw a call, but we'll see that in a second. Chat client and server needs documentation. Well, I think those are ones that I have queued up for today as well. And then some quick start related things. When you run the quick start, the ZD Edge router IP override was not included in the env does not. No, that's the ZD Edge router raw name was not in the env file. Override does not over. Oh yes, the ZD Edge router override did not correctly override the advertised host name. We had to fix that too. Quick start related issues. Well, that's exciting. So that's out there. Not the biggest of releases, but if you want to use it for configuring your Edge router's config, very important. All right. Let's now flip on over. We can close the changelog. Now we can look at our example folder in the SDK Golang. So we have OpenZD Go examples. We know how to build the examples, but I'm going to do that again. Wants me to run tidy. That's nice. And here's a bunch of examples. A couple weeks ago, I got through 3 of them. I got through Reflect, Zcat, and Simple Server, I think. So I was going to start today with Chat. And that's my first one right here, Chat. So let's take a look at that together. Oh, this example is a basic chat client showing you how to embed Zero Trust into both server-side and client-side code. Example demonstrates binding and dialing. You're going to have to do that if you're doing an application embedded Zero Trust. Build the examples. Let's flip on over to our handy-dandy console. Maybe I'll shrink it a little bit, move it down here. Let's see, make that. So we're going to do CD to example chat. Chat. Go build -o chat. Chat server, chat server, chat. It's a lot of chat servers. Chat server.go. Oh boy, that is always my favorite. I'm going to do this in Linux instead. We'll get out of there. We'll go to git WSL, CD to Net Foundry, CD to SDK Golang. All right, let's try that all over again. CD to example chat. Build the things, chug, 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 off it goes. Hopefully my audio doesn't sound too bad while Golang builds. All right, there we are, clear. Just gonna make this bigger now because that is all the way open. You know what, I'll do a export PS1 equals, let's do WSL. There we go. All right, much easier, much smaller. Why can't I grab that? There it goes. All right. Okay, setup using OpenZD. These steps will configure a service called chat, identity to bind the service to, two identities to dial. Interesting. The service policies required to authorize. Fantastic. So let's log in. I don't have it on localhost. Where is this machine? It's SSH to CD AWS. And external DNS name is this thing. Exit. We will ZD Edge login. And you know what I'm going to do? Do I have ZD? No. Add ZD to my path. ZD. There we go. ZD. Let's do a bash completions to source. SOURCE. Source that. So I can now. ZD completion. Bash. That's what I want. Source this so I can get my tab completion because I'm lazy. Sauce. SOURCE. ZD Edge. There we go. Now we got login. Paste :8441-U. You can't see my username. Hang on. Let me get out of here. Admin. I don't care if you see my ad. Oh, I didn't type it right. I don't care if you know the username. All right. Okay, now I'm logged in. Yeah, now I need to copy the script. I'm going to create a service. I'm going to give it a role attribute of chat service. ZD Edge create identity user Chevy or Chevy. Which one is it? We don't know. Clients, Chevy, Dan, clients. Okay, these guys are going to enroll. All right. Well, let's see. Where's my copy all of this stuff button? Come back to here. Clear this out. Paste it all in. Chug, chug, chug. Enrolling. Now it's enrolling again. Generating that strong key. I watched Wakanda Forever yesterday. and was mortified when in Wakanda Forever somebody was talking about their key being 2,000 bits long, where we just generated a 4,096 bit key. Anyway, that's a fun fact for you when you watch Wakanda Forever. Maybe you'll catch that too. All right. So now we've got everything there. Run the server. I'm going to put this up here now. Oops, I didn't run ZD Edge Policy Advisor Services. Didn't capture that. Doug, everything looks okay to me. All right. Chat server, chat dot server. All right. Finding service chat. Fantastic. Everything looks good so far. Let's make a new window down here, and then we'll split that window in two as well. WD, what folder are we in? That way I can just cheat, go there. Export PS1 equals left. Export PS1 equals right. All right, that looks better. Start this thing up again. Okay. Run the client. I should have put Chevy on the left, huh? Oh, Chevy is connected. Nice. Run another client. Dan. I've done those two things. Example output. All right. Following is the output. You'll see binding server chat. Yep. New connection Chevy. New connection. Oh, did I not hit enter? Oh, there's now Dan's connected. I hit enter too many times. So in Chevy, I say doctor. Chevy says doctor. Chevy says doctor. Look at that. So now somehow Dan knows that Chevy has connected, and Chevy knows that doctor has connected. Let's go ahead and look at how that actually worked. So that worked great. Go into the client, chat client. Wow, that's not a whole lot of code there, is it? So what do we got going on? We got a main function, tests for some arguments, sets the name, it then reads the arg2 as the strong identity, makes it config, okay, and then expects the service to be named chat, or you can supply the service name on the command line. All right. So far, just boilerplate. New context, we make that context. We dial the service name. And we're dialing the service name. So this is not an addressable terminator. So this is just straight up one person or one identity dialing another identity. Oh, I see. But it's dialing the chat server. That's the difference. Okay. And then, see, if it fails function, we copy the standard in, and then finish writing, copy. All right. So that's the client. Client's very easy. Let's look at the server, see what the server's up to. That's going to be a bit more complicated. Let's see how many, 160 lines, not too terrible. Look in here, we got some structs, we got a function, runs the server, puts it on a no go routine, just server event, see some event channel, handles the event, handle chat, makes a client, connect the client, names it, gives it a connection. I see. So it's using that channel. It's sending that connected client event into this channel. And then sending a disconnect event. Ooh, let's go try a disconnect and see what happens here. If I turn off not Chevy, if I turn off Dan. Yep, client disconnected. You see that? Okay, cool. Handle chat server. Just logging that. Info disconnected, and then removes it from the clients list. Handle for every client, it goes through and it writes to the client. That's cool. I see. So when the connection comes in from OpenZD or from the ZD client, we're storing it away in a map or some somewhere with a name and a connection. And then when it goes away, we notify looks like we just notified the controller. I didn't see it notifying everybody that data is disconnected. ARG processing, making the thing, run the server, accept, listener.accept, and then handle chat. Yeah, that's all there is to it. Worked well. Fantastic. Easy enough to set up. Very short, clear, concise code. 10 out of 10. All right, let's move on. Peer-to-peer example. This code is intended how addressable terminators can be used. Oh, nice. Little blurb about what an addressable terminator is. Think about a service that's fronting multiple destinations. A common example is SSH. If you want to treat them all the same, a lot of work to make a service for each SSH host, that's for sure. Instead, you could make all of them under the same service as long as you had a way to reach the host you wanted. I don't know if I quite understand what it's telling me there. I mean, I do, but if I read the words, it didn't quite resonate. Terminators in OpenZT represent a way to find or establish a connection from a router to a process hosting the service. Okay. When establishing a terminator, the hosting process can specify an instance identifier. All right. Well, this is fun. Maybe I'll see that. I'm hoping to see that. Binding code. When each client starts up, becomes a service. Bind using identity is true. Listen with options by using process binds. We'll use the ID of the hosting identity as the instance ID on the terminator. Okay. So maybe I won't see it in the example. Maybe it'll just be implied for me. That's all right. Dialing code on the dialing side, the instance ID. The instance ID to connect to can be provided in the dial options. Must be this right there. Okay, and I dial with options. The app data provided in the dial options. Ooh, app data will be passed through and will be available to the hosting application. That's neat. Listing. In order to know who is available to chat with, an API is available to list all terminators for a given service. Oh, okay. So I see what we're doing there. So we're going to interrogate the application's content. This is neat. I've never done this. We're going to get service terminators for a particular service. I don't know. All right, I'm excited. This app is not meant to demonstrate best practices. It's an example, sure. The UX is function stripped down, sure. Okay, once you have a controller and a router running the chat app policies and service, use the following command. Well, I don't think I have built this yet, but let's close these down. Close this down. I'm not told to come to this directory. I can figure that out. CD to chat P2P. I guess it goes so-called build dot slash dot dot. Love watching the paint dry. All right. Now I have chat P2P. Okay. Chat P2P. Well, if I don't put a dot slash there, I bet it doesn't work. So perhaps this was meant to go install, but I'm not a big fan of the go install methodology. I like to build it myself. So I'm going to use dot slash chat P2P setup interactive. It's a lot of stuff that just flew by. I guess I got to make this bigger. Purpose. This script sets up the services, policies, and identities. Okay, you need at least one controller and an edge router for this to work. You can use the quick start script found there. I've done that. Setup Ensure we're logged into the controller. I guess this tells me I'm already authenticated. I think that's what that's telling me. About to execute. Oh. Okay. So now it's going to do this on my behalf. CD Edge delete service chat P2P, CD Edge delete identities, user 1234. I did not know I could supply a list like that. I learned something there. CD Edge delete service policies. CD Edge delete Edge router policy. All right, go for it. Okay. Create and enroll the client app identity about to execute. CD Edge create identity user1. Give it an attribute. Output it and then enroll it. Okay. Default. Go ham. Okay. About to execute. CD Edge create service policy. Chat P2P dial. All right. So any service roles that match the attribute chat P2P will be able to, any identities that have let me highlight it. Any identities which have the attribute chat P2P can dial the services with the attribute chat P2P. And okay. So basically, if you're a chat P2P, you need dial and bind. All right. About to execute ZD Edge create edge router policy. All. So we're creating an edge router policy, even though the quick start sets up an edge router policy allowing all edge routers, all maybe not. Yeah, I think there's an all for this edge router policy, which allows the given identities to have access to the given edge routers. In this case, all. I'm pretty sure there's it's not all, actually, it's public. So this might need, depends on how you have it all set up. If you have more than one edge router, you probably want to use the public. Quick Start sets up the all ERP. Does it set up all or does it set up public? I thought it used public, but maybe I changed that. Sure, go for it. Let's see what happens. ZD Edge. Oh, actually, I forgot it, Jeff. I can show Jeff's comment. Boop. The quick start sets up the all edge router policy. I thought it was a public one. Maybe Jeff will check that out for me. Thanks. I love having Jeff here. So helpful. Thank you. ZD Edge create service edge router. Oh, a SERP that gives any services with a chat P2P. I like putting these the other way around because it reads better to me. But let me try to read it the other way. ZD Edge router policies means that every router with the attribute of all, and all is a special attribute. You do not have to add that to your objects inside of the OpenZD world. Every router can have access to these services. I like to think of it the other way. I don't know why. Maybe I should talk about that. Maybe I should reframe my own mindset. All right, go for it. About to execute ZD Edge create service, and then going to give it that. Yep, sure, need that. Okay. After you've configured the service side, you should now be able to run the chat P2P client for each of your 4 configured identities as follows. Well, let's see. PWD, CD there, add one below, add one below. CD there, CD there. Set, no, export PS1 equals, what do we got, user 4? User 4. Three. Good enough. 3 and 4. Hey, oops, did I CD there? I don't know if I did. Okay, now I will put this guy up here. Chat P2P, user 1. Needs that dot slash. Okay. Oh, that's fancy. Connect. Tries to make a connection to given identity. Accepts a connection from a chat client. Decline. I am totally trying this out. Let's try user 2. Okay. I like the way that green arrow looks. That's nice. Boom. Ugh, the whole dot slash again. All right, now I got four little chatters here. So I'm going to connect to user 5 right off the bat. Going to test it. Oh, a dial error, unable to dial service. Service blank has no terminators. Not the best of errors, but the other stuff around it is nice. Unable to connect to user 5. Cool. Up arrow doesn't work. That's all right too. Connect user 2. Ooh, what if I do user 1? Oh man, I probably really stuck my foot in it here. Incoming connection, user 1. App data high there. Type accept. I knew I did. I love it. All right, so can't do that. Let's try again. I shouldn't push on the underbelly. Connect to user 2. Connected to user 2. I'm connected even though I haven't. Let's decline it. Decline. Error. End of function. That's cool. I mean, like, it's a sample, right? Like, it's not production grade stuff here. Connect to user 2. And we're going to accept it. Oh, no. Oh, look at that. Now we're in progress. Ooh, Jeff, thank you for the confirmation. The ERP is set to public, but the SERP is set to all. That is such a key and important difference. Generally speaking, best practice for now, until you understand what a service edge router policy is, you are absolutely best off to set all services to have access to all routers. So it should be an all policy, Jeff, if that's correct. Um, it's just is so much easier because understanding service edge router policies is a bit complicated, and I'm not going to get into it here. And there's probably, I don't know how good the doc is on that one, but we'll make it better. But edge router policies is important that you have most people. Yep, and Jeff has confirmed. Thank you, Jeff. It is an all service edge router policy. Don't mess with that. Leave service edge router policy as all. That's best practice for now until you get really good at it. And then edge router policies is set to public and all. So you probably want all of your endpoints to access all of your public routers. But OpenZD being very flexible, you can decide to have only certain identities access only certain routers. And if you do that, well, then you need to know what you're doing. So it's definitely best off to use that public attribute that comes with the quick start or make your own public attribute. And then you can give access, onboarding access to identities or clients to whatever routers you want. For learning, by all means, use an all edge routers and all identities edge router policy, like we have created here, basically, or a public to all. It makes it easier. The reason I like public is because if you have a private one, then your edge router, or sorry, your client will try to connect to that private edge router, and it won't be able to get there. All right, look at that. We're in progress. Hi, I'm in the wrong window. Let's back over here. Hi. user 2. Cool. So now we're going to try to connect user 1, connect user 1. No, user 3. Well, we made it far enough along where I'm going to call that a win. I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10, but it mostly works. It uses the cool markdown reader that Paul has been playing around with, trying to make better. That was fun. They got pretty output. I really do like the little bar on the left-hand side. I think that's really fantastic. All right, so that is the chat P2P. We looked at the code. We did the thing. We looked at the thing. Let's go back to here. All right. Now we're going to do curl Z. All right. This example is a Z-ified curl. Curl Z example. In part 1, we call a call will be made to an endpoint which is not on the overlay network. And in part 2, a call is made to an endpoint that is on the overlay network. Nice. Demonstrates dialing a service. Sounds like also and binding a service, perhaps. Need an OpenZD network, need the OpenZD CLI, build the example, refer to the example README. Oh, does that bring me back to? Yeah, okay, cool. All right, set up curl Z. Look at that pretty picture. In this example, the traffic starts on the overlay zero trust network and then is offloaded onto the underlay network. Okay, so zero trust extends from, this is probably not local network. This is probably traversing some internet bits, but I kind of get the idea. There's probably internet bits in between here as well. And then, so yeah, so my edge router is out on the internet. I would probably put this little router over here so that it traverses my internet. And then I would probably get rid of local network and straight to the server host. I think, yeah, that's what I would probably do. That makes more sense. So at this zero trust zone extends from my curl Z app all the way to the other end of the internet where it will offload onto more internet to get to whatever I'm going to. Actually, well, I'm presuming maybe that's what it'll do. We'll see. At the end of these steps, you'll have created a service called web endpoint and identity to connect to. The service config to connect to the service. The service connect to okay, that's a lot of words. The service config to connect the service to the overlay. Service config. A lot of words. I mean, it's only 2 services, but somehow it throws my brain off. The config to connect the service to the overlay. All right. The service policy is required to authorize the identities for bind and dial. All right, so log into Ziti. I've already done that. Determine your edge router's name and populate this environment variable. Okay. Let's see. Actually, get rid of the user 1 or 3. Get rid of user 4. Let's hope I don't need them again. I can make this. There we go. So Ziti edge list routers. Ziti edge list router. Oops. Edge routers. 3 of them. My ID is this right here. So that's the name. That's the ID right there. All right. Export Ziti edge router equals that. Okay. Yeah, that's probably the way to do it. I wonder. I probably would have been fancier. I probably would have done something like Ziti edge list edge routers. I got to use a name contains. If I do it that way, I get one example back. I can pipe that into get the JSON, pipe that into JQ. So I'm like doing some fancy stuff. I'm just showing people how that works. So now I'm going to get data. Data. ID. And then I can do a -R to get just the name. And then I can say export my ID equals pound bam. like this, one line, and I can echo my ID and echo CD. What was the other one? Edge router. All right. All right. Third time's a charm. Almost messed it up. All right, same thing. That's probably what I would have done. It's a little fancier, but not necessary. Okay, so now I've got my edge router set up. Run the script to create everything you need. Let's read it. We don't just run random scripts from the internet. We cd to example and build. cd2, no, I'm not there. cd2 example. Where am I? cd2 build. No. Oh, I see. I did not follow the instructions. So let me follow the actual build instructions and build all the examples all at once. Let's do that because that's what this wants me to do. Make dir build, go mod tidy, run all these things. So now I'll just go do all that. Oh, that'll chug along and be done here soon enough. Okay. Determine edge router names. I already did this. Now I'm going to read the script. So we got cd to example build. I gotta get back up here. It's doing its thing still. So let's stop him. Let's stop him. And then we'll cd to build. Uh-oh. New dialer with fallback. Looks like we've got a compilation problem. Let's hope it's not the one I need. Build. And in here, what am I running? I'm running curl Z. Curl Z. Okay, it's not. I guess I'll figure out what that compilation problem is later. Okay, echo create the service. I'm going to make a host config. It's going to go to google.com on port 443. That's exciting. Probably don't need those apostrophes. I think those are not necessary here. Echo create the service, create service web endpoint configs using this one. We only need one config because we're going to be using curl Z, and that means we don't need an intercept config. I understand that. ZD edge create identity user curl Z, give it an attribute of clients, output of that, enroll it. Makes sense. Let's echo create service policies. Need to be able to bind it. We're going to use the @ symbol instead of the pound, directly referring to the service role that we want to be able to bind. So clients can dial the web endpoint. Makes sense. The router can bind the endpoint. Makes sense. All right. Yep, that all seems good to me. Let's run it. Let's run it. Chug, chug, chug. Make me an identity. Probably should set some sort of base directory where all my identities go into too. That way I don't have to keep making them every week. All right, everything looks fine. I would maybe refine the ZD Edge policy service advisor services to include the name web.endpoint instead, because it's very wordy, lots of output when you don't refine it. Somehow Chevy has access to web endpoint. Don't know what I did there. It must have been an all policy at some point. Okay, cool. Well, that all works. So now run the curl Z example for web endpoint. Let's run curl Z and see what happens. Web.endpoint. So web.endpoint does not exist. I'm going to curl there. Endpoint is not a top level domain. Curl Z is my identity file. Okay. I get HTML. I get Google HTML. So it definitely looks like it did what I wanted it to do. It tried to tell me not found. Yeah. That's cool. I am somewhat surprised I didn't get a -K kind of option. So with curl, if you go to a web server that is insecure, it will warn you that you're going to a place that's insecure. But it makes sense in a curl Z world that doesn't happen because we're going to web.endpoint, which really under the hood was www.google.com. So if we tried to add the TLS check in there, it would have been fruitless. I do think the client probably would not connect to an invalid endpoint though. So let's check out the source. Let's see what curl says. Maybe in the Golang source, we're going to see that it, okay. We're going to see that it doesn't check. Again, only 69 lines of code, not a tremendous amount. processing of arguments, making a new ZD client based on arg1, which is what the strong identity, I would imagine. What did I run there? Yeah, curl Z. That's arg1. And then copies all of the information from standard out to the response body. So it's made a new client. Oh, it's made a GET request. I see. So new ZD client is going to be some function defined in here. Yep, returns an HTTP client. Okay. I mean, I get the inlining of this. I would maybe not have inlined it just for more obvious examples. Oh, what does Jeff have to say? A couple of examples use the client's attribute. They have been updated to be more specific. Gotcha. Check the code. The curl Z sets no sets no verify. Jeff is already one step ahead of me. Where is the no verify in here? Go to the right window. No verify. The code sets no verify. I don't. Oh, right here. Insecure skip verify equals true. Right there. That's the one. So again, curl Z toy example, not meant to be a true and utter replacement of curl. So keeping it easy is important when you're looking at a sample. And so this one has insecure skip verify turned on. It is what it is. It's a sample. But you can see it makes a new config from the file. Oh, argz, actually, I take it back. Arg1 is the destination. That's the get that we're performing. Arg2 is the file itself. Makes the context, makes a new HTTP context, dials it, and then returns the client itself, which then issues the get. That's all there is to it. Oh, there's a little tiny bit in there. Yeah, the when you dial the HTTPS. Oh, it was HTTPS too. Look at that. Web.endpoint. This little dial function gets called and splits on your colon. So the colon's applied to the URL, which is not this colon. It's the invisible one that you're not seeing right here. So technically, 443 was what would have been used in there. Nice. So that makes all sense. Unexpected insecure verify, 9 out of 10, but pretty nice, pretty good sample. All right. This one is what time? We got 11:42. Maybe I'll do this one. Maybe I'll get the zping. Samples based on gRPC Hello World. Convert existing gRPC application to an embedded zero trust OpenZD network. Example binding and dialing, as they all basically do. Did I skip? I think I skipped some bits in this one. I only did some of it, didn't I? Let me go back. I only did step 1. What was step 2 in there? Ooh, I didn't go far enough. Curl to a Zetified endpoint. Nice. Simple server. Oh, for this one, I probably have to run simple server. I don't have that set up. Architecture overview. Look at all that beautiful zero trust all the way from application to application. True application embedded zero trust. Nice. And host or bind there too. Follow all the steps in the simple service example with no link. Oh my goodness. Why do we not have a link to the simple service right here? That would have been so nice. Could take points off for that one. It's 9 out of 10 is going down in 8 now because we don't have a link. Open a new terminal, CD there, do those things, all the same stuff. Same stuff. We'll just have a Zetified server, which is pretty awesome. I'm going to skip that because I'm going to go back to the gRPC one, but that's cool. I'll give it an 8.5. All right, let's keep going. Build the examples. We did that. Set up using the OpenZD CLI. It's okay, Jeff. These steps will configure the service using the OpenZD CLI. At the end of these steps, you'll have created a service called gRPC, an identity bind, identity to connect to. Okay, I've already logged in. All these things, kind of cookie cutter. If you've seen these once, you've seen them all by now. We're also making a service edge router policy. I'll stick with my guns in this one. I would probably not encourage newbies to make service edge router policies. I would probably ask them to make sure that they have the all. But putting it here is nice because if you don't follow the quick start and you stand everything up on your own, you are not going to have a service edge router policy. So I would probably just say follow the quick start, and we should make sure all our quick starts add the all service edge router policy just because. And the edge router rules again. So yeah, I have on this network I have 2 extra edge routers. So I'm sure I have dial failures at some places. Okay, well, let's copy all that and run it. It's all legit on the up and up. Made a couple of GRP clients and servers there. I get a feeling I'm going to need those 2 bottom windows now. Policy advisor services. I'm going to put gRPC on this one. Chug. Client, server. Things are good. Bind, yes. Dial, yes. Nice. All right. Let's where are we? We're going to go back to build. Then we're going to run the server. Server is listening. Client. Reading hello world, received world. Whoops, I wanted to say something else. Yeah, I do. Something else. I should quote that. And then I can just stuff whatever I want in here. I can't do it that way. Let's do a gRPC for the win. Look at that. All right. Some sample output. Tear it all down. I'm not going to do that. Let's take a look at the server first, and then we'll look at the client. Again, very few lines of code. Flag.parse. So we're using Cobra? Nope, not using Cobra, just using straight up bool flag. Okay. Reading new config from identity. So get some flag. Yep, some flag is defined up here, and then some other flag for service. Nice. Cobra is nice, but that is less. It's less, so I like that better. That's cool. New context. We ZTX authenticate. This is one I've never seen before. I didn't even know we had that function. I learned something. All right. And we listen on the service, makes a new server, registers the server. Where is the go routine? Must be this. Oh, register greeter server. Where's that? PB. What is PB in here? Gotta love Go with their short little names. PB. Anybody see PB in here? PB equals? Oh. Oh, I see. Okay. So PB must be a register greeter server is all done inside of that example code. So not ours, which is good and bad. S.serve, it must be where that Go routine lives. And then this runs forever. S.serve waits until it completes. Yeah. Okay. So this hello world must be doing that fun stuff for us. All right. Not our code. Maybe that's good. Maybe that's bad. All right. And here's our client. Again, barely 60 lines of code, parsing some flags again, authenticating. I've never seen authenticate. I got to go look that up. gRPC dial the service with transport credentials. Okay. Insecure new credentials. That's a new one on me. Where is insecure declared? Is that also? Yeah. I've never used that either. Interesting. Cool. New greeter client. And we print the greeting. Yeah. Nice. Easy enough. Doesn't take a whole lot of ZD. You can see, like, if you were to take the ZD out of this, almost all the code is not ZD. It's just a few things like make me a new context, authenticate, which again I've never seen before. I mean that's implied when you try to dial. You'll find out if you're authenticated or not. Maybe new context might even authenticate you for all I know. I've never invoked authenticate. And then dialing service, gRPC. What is gRPC in here? gRPC, where is it? Oh, okay, it's right there. I see it. So that's not our service, that's gRPC service. We are dialing gRPCs, but we must be giving it a, that's where our magic is, right here. Yes, that's where our magic is. So that's where you inject the ZD on the gRPC example. You're making a invocation with a context dialer, which is passing a lambda or function into that, which then calls our dialer. That's how we get the bytes. Nice. Golang's abstractions are just fantastic when it comes to net communication. All right. Well, that's exciting. That one worked well. Give that a 9 out of 10. Zping. Can I get through Zping? What is Zping? Replaces the function of ICMP. Ooh. Provides end-to-end latency measurement between two identities. Nice. Get the code. Compile it from source. I should have already gotten the code, I bet. And I should have already built it. Let's see. Uh-oh. No Zping there? Zping might have failed. Maybe that was the one that failed. Okay. Well, maybe I won't do Zping. Let's see. See the Zping. Oh, it has a go mod and a go sum right there. Look at that. What if I rm go sum and rm go mod and cd dot dot and go mod tidy. A lug, and then I do a go build dot slash dot dot dot. That was a bad decision. CD to Zping. Git to checkout, go mod, git checkout, go mod and sum. Go build dot slash dot dot dot. Chug. Chug, chug, chug. Will we make it? Almost over. It's almost over. Okay. It did. And then we install Golang. Yeah, we need to update these instructions. Probably make sure it just works. CD to ZD apps. Git clone SDK. I'm already looking at this thing. CD to SDK Golang example. Go install. I don't want to go install. Set up the network and ZD service. Create using existing. Create at least two identities. Okay, well, we got some work to do on this one. It's not quite as easy as it could be. I do have a couple of identities though, so maybe I can just reuse them. Create a simple SDK service, and ZD ping can be provided. Okay, maybe I can make it work. Let's see. So I do have gRP server. Okay, right. So let's do this is a Z ping. Z ping. Z ping. Okay. What's the binary called? Where did it go? Where's the binary? Did build it, right? Oh no, I just bring go tidy, go build. Thought I was going to find it right here. All right, we're going to call it. I couldn't get through Zping. Probably need to go and have somebody like Jeff take a look at that and bolster it. But another good ZD TV. We got through a lot of examples, a lot of very clean examples, lots with nice, like that's a nice diagram. Shows you what it's doing. Lots of good diagrams. And that's going to do it for this week's ZD TV. Thanks everybody for tuning in and checking it out. Where's my mouse? Hang on, let's do this. Boop. Hey, there we are. Well, there I am. Thanks everybody for tuning in and checking it out. And we'll see you next time on ZD TV. Hopefully Ken will be here. I know everybody's like, where's Ken? Sorry, Ken wasn't here. Maybe we'll have a co-star. You never can tell.